Bubba, as we start this brand new hour, we welcome to the Rick and Bubba Broadcast Plaza and Teleport, Sean Alexander.
037.
037.
What up, my brother?
What's up, Sean? Everybody all fired up in the golden ticket seats?
You know what? I've been so excited about today. You know, I was thinking about the last time I was with you all when I was playing for the Seahawks and we were practicing our dances, the corn on the cob.
The shopping cart.
The shopping cart. The funky monkey, that's the thing with the leg.
Yeah.
Those things all went well in Seattle. Right now, there's like little 10-year-old kids right now still doing the corn on the cob because of you all.
I'm telling you, that corn on the cob was something.
It was so good, wasn't it?
Yeah. The way you threw it over your shoulder when you were done with it.
Because you can't hang on to it.
No.
Start another one.
No, that's right. You got to get to the second one, you know.
You know, you got a lot going on. I mean, I thought you were going to retire from football and relax. That's not happening.
Yeah, I keep on finding things to do every time I, sit down. I get up and find some more stuff to go do. So it's good. I've wrote a book two books now, and keep on getting asked to go do TV. But I told them, I've learned from my older brothers, Rick and Bubba, that I probably should do radio one day. So.
That's right. That's right. Look,
we've made
a lot less work.
Yeah, we've made it apparent it's not that hard. So
and then when I came here, we used to be in some studio. Now I look over here and your pictures are everywhere.
Yeah, man. I mean, look,
people are wearing Rick and Bubba T-shirts. I mean,
including you today when you leave. So we talked about Touchdown Alexander. That book's been out a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
And you got a new book coming out next month. Clear direction and spiritual power for your life. It's called The Walk, and I like where you put in here too. One of Bubba's favorite things, by the way. You know what's in this book?
What?
A Q&A.
Really? See, I love
the
Q&A.
author answers frequently asked questions.
That's it.
In the book.
What are some of them?
Well,
I'd like to know.
I need to look for that in here.
well, good. Let's see if I can remember the answer. B. Go with B.
So tell us about
where is home now?
Yeah, where
Sean?
you live now?
Last time we talked to you, you were in Washington.
Yes, I was in Washington, and I made a promise to Shanahan, who was the new head coach, that if he wanted me to come back out, then I would come play. And so the Redskins started off not well, and I was like, okay, don't call. Okay, and then so they didn't. So yeah, so really, I was just kind of sitting back, relaxing. I got to do some of the greatest things that every man would love to do, which is just play with your children. We have 5 now, and so that was a great time. And then besides that, I've been actually being entertained with the thought of going to and joining CBS, and we're still talking about maybe next year doing that. But but besides that, it's been a lot of fun just playing with the family. Actually, I am the one that gets up and cooks the breakfast and makes the meals, and DC's been great for that, because it's been kind of not craziness of Alabama or Seattle, where I could kind of be in a different atmosphere, which, being close to the president is kind of different.
Yes.
It's a different atmosphere.
So are you saying you went somewhere where no one knew you?
Yeah.
Or you went there to get away from football?
No, I actually was more like just the. Are you saying they'll play football in Washington?
Getting better.
They are good. They're actually 2-0, so I'm actually been proud of the Redskins.
So are you looking at the cell phone going?
Now, hey, like now when 2-0, I'm like, I'll come back and play, 2-0.
Yeah, because I'm gonna tell you, there can't be a worse feeling in the world to be in the backfield, and that you're playing behind an offensive line that cannot handle the best defensive lineman the world has to offer. And as soon as they snap that ball, they're coming. You want to, if you're gonna play again, the offensive line, I would think, would be a big decision.
It has to be good.
Yeah,
I mean that is your main decision. That's what determines how many times and how hard you get hit.
It is, and if you ever, I think every great running back will tell you, if they had any kind of stats, they would say, you know what, my line, they gelled, they put it together, and I was very, very fortunate in high school, college, and the pros to have some guys that were really, really good.
Yeah, I've heard coaches say the following, talking to the running back. Now, this guy you're gonna have to beat, but I've never heard anybody say, now these 5 guys you're gonna have to beat.
Right.
You can beat 1, maybe 2, but boy.
Yeah, I remember when Seattle, when we shifted some of our guys, and some of our guys retired, and the new line came in, and they were all excited for the first game, and I got hit under a pile, and some guy was twisting my arm. The other guy was, dropping his knees on me.
Giving you the business, huh?
Yeah, the business. Yeah, that'd be a good way to put it. Yes. And I get back in the huddle, and I'm looking at the guys like, y'all, and they're like, gosh, that must have hurt. I said, hey, this is the NFL. Y'all are supposed to go beat those guys up. They won't throw a flag in this level if y'all beat them up for pulling them off me. And they're like, yeah, I'll remember that.
Yeah, because you see offensive linemen, you're supposed to go after any defensive player that tries to rough your backs, your receivers, or your quarterback.
Yeah, oh, yeah, and it's a physical game.
You don't let, and one of the things, and you played at the highest level, so I'm hearing football fans almost aghast that the defensive players are openly talking about
For the Redskins.
Yeah, that they now know that Romo's hurt and they're going after his injury, and people are like,
said they want to put a hat on it.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard one guy saying, "Look, when I get up off the pile, I'm gonna push off his chest as I get up."
They did that to me. I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. But I think the difference is that it's always been done, but they're not. Most folks don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Right.
They
I
just
think
do it.
It's being
think
talked
just
about more now.
It's a different generation. Twitter, Facebook,
Yeah.
guys, I'm gonna knock him out. There are people like, what? They said that? They say a lot worse.
Much worse.
That's the clean version.
Yeah. And you hear some things on the football field you actually write down and research later. I've never even heard that before.
You got to turn it upside down.
Wow, that was a good one. Is that anatomically possible?
It's a vicious game.
It is, but you love every minute. That's why when somebody scores a touchdown, it takes it to a whole nother level. I mean, you're like, man, all this work, all the training, all the fun times of putting together some sweat and some tears, and you finally score a touchdown or win a game or win a championship. It means so much more.
Oh yeah. Well, and you've been
But
very
if your
wise.
friends celebrate with you, you could be penalized.
Yeah,
Right.
But Sean's been wise because a lot of people, when they transition from football back to what I call civilian life,
Yeah.
not being able to exert that energy, take out that frustration. So what did he do? So he remained calm. He has 5 children.
Right.
So I mean,
Amen.
and that'll do it.
Yeah.
I
And
mean,
now they twist his arm
I
under
was
the
about to
pile.
say, I bet Sean a few days says, "Man, I wish I had practice today where I could rest."
The business.
Giving you the business. We'll come back more with Sean Alexander. The new book coming out next month. Be looking for it. We'll talk about other things going on with Sean Alexander. We'll talk about some of the topics going on around the world, the state of football today, and some other things we'll be doing while he's in town. You're listening to the Rick and Bubba Show. Here on the program, he is back in his home state.
Who was that, Rick?
well,
I'm
not his
sorry,
home-
I didn't hear it. Who was that?
Not his home state. What's that?
Who was that brought him today?
USA Ready Mix and Crane
Okay, I
Works.
just want to be sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
The
Rain works.
Yeah.
U.S. Ready Mix.
Yep, that's it. I can't picture you working with that kind of equipment, but
I thought about it once,
Yeah.
and it didn't really go well.
That's
I
why-
drove
that's why I
a
just call
bulldozer
him.
one day, and I had a whole lot more respect for people who drove bulldozers.
right, yep. You know what?
Thing ride's a little rougher than my truck.
Right.
does.
I've been pursued for driving a bulldozer once.
Yeah, right.
I was not supposed to be on the job, but
That's a lovely T-shirt that you have on.
you
right
like
there.
that? Yeah.
No,
Auburn University. I bet you love that, don't you? Look, here's my whole deal. I got a son plays on the team.
I know.
I still
know.
got more sons to go. Ain't no telling what kind of shirts I have. when somebody says, "Hey, we'll take care of college," I'll get that shirt on in a minute.
You wear it twice. Huh?
That's right. I can have a crimson one on the
we
next
can
two. I
roll
don't know.
Tide, we can chomp Gators, we can do whatever it takes.
And I hate to
Hunker down Silver Bridges.
I don't know how to tell
Rocky
you this.
Top,
I've
Rain
even
Bells.
I've even sang Rocky Top. I hate to tell you. We got affiliates everywhere. Bubba and I can be at a pet rally and you can think we love your team so quick. Because let me tell you what team we pull for ultimately. Oh, Rick and Bubba.
Home team.
Home team, baby. Let's talk about some of the things that are going on. You and I were mentioning, and we've both had a screening of this movie coming out next week in Courageous.
Yeah.
And I know this is something that, and I believe we got to have more godly men committed to mentoring other godly men, because if we can get this next generation of young men to be godly men, it'll change society completely.
I think that the whole world can understand if they can actually just create some men of character, then it would change the world.
Wasn't that this group, we had them on the air, Bubba, you remember, they've put out a couple of movies already, Facing the Giants, Fireproof, and it seems the Flywheel was their first one, Sherwood Baptist Church, and they seem like that every time God keeps blessing them to make it a little higher quality, and because they're not going to compromise the gospel, which means a
Right.
lot of times they can't get people to work with them.
Yeah.
And this is the next movie. It's next weekend. And I really hope and pray that this will be a movement involving godly men because it's really well done.
Yeah, you know what? I'm actually I'm one of the national spokespeople for the National Center for Fathering, and it really is just actually they have a program on fathers.com called the Championship Fathering, and they want to really get men to say, hey, here's some extra ways to become a better father, and then even with that, to continue to encourage people, like, yeah, you know. Hopefully you're still married, but many cases, it's not, you know, but you can still be a good father. And if you can be a good father to that kid or even the neighbor's kid or even the kid down the street, you'll impact their life forever.
Yeah, the thing that I really learned in a really tough way, you know, and I already knew it, but, you know, it really was driven home when our family went through the earthly loss of our youngest son when he stepped into eternity, because I have a godly wife. I mean, I do. It's not like I have a weak wife that doesn't know. And sometimes I think even those of us that have godly wives, we think, well, my role's not as important because she already knows from the ultimate, Father, and that is her Father in heaven. But I found out through that process that even when I had a wonderful woman in the house, that nobody could be me. And she said there's nobody else that can replace you.
Yeah.
You have to do what God has gifted you to do in this house. None of us can be you. I can't be you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And what do we find a lot of times? We find young men who have had outstanding mothers.
Yep.
But what has been the thing that kept them from being who they could be? They didn't have that dad. Even though they had a great mom.
I tell you, I'm one of them.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
a great mom.
Yeah.
You know, godly. See her reading the Bible on her porch. You know, heading off to leaving our apartment to go off to school. But you know, I firmly believe that majority of young men's insecurities about who they are, what they think is cool or not cool, comes because their dad didn't label them, didn't mark them, and say, "No, you're cool, whatever it is."
Yeah.
You know.
Because every single boy, whether he knows it or not, wants to hear from his father,
Yep.
I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you.
And
good job.
You're doing what you need to do.
Yep. You're the man.
Yeah, and so like I think the point you're making in this movie makes because it gives you dads in all sorts of situations.
It does.
You know, some who are not, you know, they're not married to their child's mom. There's the ones that are in the house, but they're not in the house.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You know what I
Yep.
mean? I think I'm doing
They're
my
there,
part,
but they're not there.
I'm bringing
Yeah.
the money home. What
Yep.
else do y'all want from me? And then you got the guy that's raising a family that's in poverty. You got it all. And at the end of the day, the message is, regardless of what your father's situation is, nobody can be you.
Yeah.
You
I
got to
mean,
be involved.
I had a friend. I'm also partners with the community and schools, and you know, and gosh, Bill Milliken, he's the co-founder. He's, you know, in probably late 70s now, and lived in New York. And he said, you know, he said this 50 years ago. He said the problem with America, which is going to hurt America 50 years from now. He said this. You know, he said most of the fathers are not going to be around. Then the mothers are going to try to raise them, and when that doesn't work, they're going to turn to the schools to try to raise them. So if somebody can corrupt the school system, then you actually have a fallen city, a fallen state, a fallen country, and you're seeing what's happening now.
That's
like
prophetic words.
The character of our country, you know, just, hey, I'm not going to cheat because I just don't cheat. You know, I'm going to actually do this thing the right way because I do it the right way. I'm going to actually stand up, look you in the eye, because those are father-taught things, and you know, our country misses that. So hopefully this movie can stir some of the fathers to be more, and the ones who didn't think that they could turn around, let them actually
never
come
too
back
late.
to their kids. Yeah, it's never
Never
late.
too late.
You know, I love the fact that my father came in and was like, hey, you know what? Did some things wrong. You know, most people don't know my dad had 9 kids from 4 different women, you know. And so I'm easily could be a statistic, and people wouldn't even know that that's my story until I tell them. But yeah, my dad came to me. He was like, "Hey, I did stuff wrong, but I wanna be there, and I love him to death." He did that like my senior year in high school.
I know a lot of people in a lot of situations feel like they've made a mistake and they've gone so far that I can't go back now. But there's nothing sweeter than a prodigal coming home.
We've all got that prodigal story.
And everybody, I think, is willing and able to forgive and move on. They want to in their heart.
Definitely.
You had a couple shout outs you want to give this today while you're here.
Yeah, you know, my best friend from like 2nd grade, Ray Arnold, he's been going through just a crazy time from just loss of family members. His father passed a little while ago. His mother just found out has could be cancerous in her stomach. Otherwise, he'd be down here now. And they were adopting a kid with Down syndrome. It's been just a rough go, because now all of a sudden financial jobs, everything's going bad, So for him, Ray, I want to give you a shout out. Love you, bro. Keep on impacting lives and wanting to help people. And, and you're going to be able to adopt those kids and everything's going to turn around. And then also on the other end, Alex Page. Alex Page, when I was with Seattle Seahawks, doing the sprinkler. Alex Page was a kid that had brittle bone disease, and he was a Make-A-Wish kid and came out and he said he wanted to meet Sean Alexander, and I just always prayed for him and had some other friends pray for him, like, hey, this little kid I met just really impacted my heart, and here it is. He goes from there, living freshman year. Right now, he's a freshman at the University of Alabama.
How about that,
Alex?
And nobody
hopefully I
thought,
get to see you.
Nobody thought he'd ever see that day.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Power of prayer.
That's it. It's good.
I will be back. Bottom of the hour. Coach Pat Dye joins us next.
Pat Dye.
Do what? I'm sure you want to talk to Coach next, don't you?
Love it.
Rick and Bubba, Rick and Bubba.